To be real, it's too many males on planet Earth, and that's why there's so much hatred and vitriol towards women.
And silly me, here I thought it was a combination of a lack of education and willful ignorance on the part of some men as well as some women.
Because it's too much of them. Really think about this.
I'm sure we'll try.
Patriarchal society makes women believe that we are only good for being wives and mothers. So it directly ties our femininity and womanhood to having children, even though there are so many unlimited forms of feminine expression.
Uh-huh. And this directly correlates to the problem being an overpopulation of men. How?
But when males have exploited our ability to create people, you get more people on planet Earth than what is supposed to be. Therefore, you have a bunch of entitled men who have to compete with each other, and they're really mad at the system that created them, but they have no choice but to blame women.
All right, now let me ask a question. What exactly do circular arguments like the one that we've just seen demonstrated actually accomplish? Because it does nothing to offering up a solution as to why women still face misogyny. Because, as I said, the real root causes behind misogyny in this world, as well as any kind of prejudice or discrimination, would be a lack of education in combination with willful ignorance. So I'm going to ask, for those that jump on the bandwagon of arguments like the one that we've just seen, what exactly is the solution to overcoming those problems?
I saw this really cute guy at the grocery store the other day, so naturally I followed him to the checkout counter, and when he gave the cashier his credit card, I peeped it to see what his name was. And then I Googled him and found his social media profiles, and I was able to tell that he was single.
And through social media, she finds his mom, who happens to be part of a book club. She joins that book club. She attends a meeting at that book club. She meets his mom and has a conversation with her. By chance, lets her know that she's single as a Pringle. Mom thinks, oh, this is great. My son is single. Let me match them up. They exchange numbers, and he ends up setting up a date with this lady. Two things here. Obviously, there's a double standard, because if a man did this, he would be labeled a creep and a stalker. Two, I think this highlights just how bad women are at approaching and introducing themselves to a guy. Like, she would rather find a way to find his name and then look him up, find him on social media to confirm whether or not he's single. She will literally spend 10 hours of her life trying to figure out if this guy is Mr. Right before she even says hi. That just goes to show how fearful women are of rejection. So I don't understand why it's so difficult for so many women to not understand why rejection is difficult for men. And what makes it worse is not only rejecting men, because that has to happen to some degree if you're not interested in him, but what's way worse is when you shame a man for simply approaching you.
Women are not emotionally intelligent, and when a woman says that she wants emotional intelligence from a man, what she really means is that she wants a man to be able to change his behavior to make sure that she isn't the one being out of control with her emotions because she's not able to control them herself. It means that the men in their lives have to behave a certain way to essentially make her behave correctly, because she doesn't know how to control her own self and her own emotions, and she's not emotionally aware of things that are going on around her. Most women that scream emotional intelligence don't even know what it means. It means being in control of your emotions and using logic around situations and adapting to different environments, which women cannot do, myself included. When a woman says that she wants a man to be emotionally intelligent, it means that he has to just know everything that she's feeling 24/7, 7 days a week. And it gives her the ability to deflect accountability and shift blame as to why he doesn't just know. Women think that just because they're emotional, it means that they're emotionally intelligent. But the reality is that women use their emotions as an excuse for poor behavior, or they use their emotions to shift blame to the men in their lives for not being emotionally intelligent. When really, men are more emotionally intelligent than women, and women don't want to accept that or believe that, so it's easier to just blame men instead. Okay, bye.
Yo, look, talk to baby mama. What a weirdo.
bullshit. I just want to see if somebody.
So you came back here for that?
I'm missing his medicine.
Okay. What's the medicine?
It's only cough medicine.
Okay, so it's not. What color is it? It's a red thing.
It's
Night and day?
It's not in there.
Night and day one?
Yeah.
It's in the inside.
No, it's not.
Where's the doctor?
In the front.
Okay, so where's the doctor?
No, you don't need to tell me. It's probably in there because I ain't seen it.
It's not. I didn't give him no medicine.
Okay, what is you? I'm confused on what you're scared of.
I'm not scared of nothing. I'm just trying to understand why you care. It's no medicine.
It is medicine. I'm missing it.
It's not.
Oh, you asking
Yes,
me
it is.
It's in your car.
Why you don't want to open the door?
It's not
I'm not gonna.
It's not a
Before we proceed, these are her messages. I zoomed in for you. Cough medicine, you not gonna open the door. Calling them ain't stopping. I'ma still do what the I want since you think you can play in my face in front of it. Since you want to play police, I'ma contact the detective about that accident, mine. And you're on probation, so you'll be going to jail, love. She says she's not on, but this is the text message she sent him before she got there. It's his only medicine. Go buy another one. What are you, broke? You can't buy a medicine? This is why brokies should never have kids. Yeah, because if your kid's sick and you can't afford it, then what'd you open up your legs for? I don't know what it is about men, but like you guys really know how to like get women pregnant and the wrong ones. And I'm sorry, but this is why I always tell men, protect your seed and stop shooting the club up with these rats. They might look good, they might have a nice body, whatever, but look at what it gets you. You could tell she's problematic. And so what if he has a girlfriend? So what if he's talking to someone else? I can see why you closed the door. What are you going to go in there and start stuff in his house over some medicine that you can just go and buy? If you can't find the medicine, what are you going to do? Let's make a solution and go buy some more medicine. You don't have to come in my house turning things up. Women are really awful. I'm glad social media is a thing, and I'm glad that phones and stuff are a thing now, because now you women can't sit there and lie and say, my baby daddy ain't shit. He ain't trying to be in the kid's life. She probably tells everybody he don't take care of the kid. He don't buy him medicine. He just girls and look. And you could tell he cares. That's sick, man.
The worst thing about being a man is being seen but not heard, being acknowledged but not understood, assuming that we're okay because we have to put on this hard front, not recognizing that men can be vulnerable. Men, we live in our head alone. It's a very lonely place. I think women sometimes take their emotional intelligence for granted. You just assume that we are emotionally intelligent. You assume that we're okay. Being a provider, doing DIY, all of those things is just normal to a man. We like to do those things. We like to feel like we're doing something. It actually hasn't got nothing to do with you. We are our own worst enemy sometimes.
So what is a woman to do when you ask a man?
But do you ask a
okay?
man? Do you? Or is it just a fleeting, passing gesture? Do you really ask if a man's okay? Or is it, how was your day, babe? I just feel like women like emotional attention, right? They like to be acknowledged emotionally by a man. But it's not reciprocate, that's all.
Are you saying that I don't reciprocate?
I'm not looking to get into a two-way bust-up right now.
No, I'm saying like, are you
We're having a conversation.
Yeah, but do you mean generally or do you mean me?
I mean generally. That's what you got to say.
The male gender is going extinct.
Well, there goes the species, I guess.
They were impossible not to admire, you know? I mean, they used to go to war. They were providers, protectors. But that was kind of a long time ago.
Has someone been living under a rock? Because a lot of men still do all of those things.
Because now they're posting fit checks and skincare routines. So many traits that were once labeled as feminine are now commonly found in men. So, what happened?
Oh, well, that's easy. Quite frankly, a lot of women got exactly what they asked for when it comes to how some men currently behave. Because there was a belief, and it's still held by some, that masculinity itself was toxic. And unfortunately, that belief came about because some individuals who acted in a traditional masculine manner had some toxic behaviors. Therefore, it made sense, due to a lack of critical thinking skills on the parts of some, that all of masculinity was toxic. So if a person is asking why some men aren't acting in such a masculine manner as they used to, well, it's because women didn't want them to.
Dude, great work. Yeah. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. His wife is.
This man is that walking definition of that good man that says, I'll figure it out. He could have had no idea how he was going to do it, but he was going to get those babies out of the house. And I bet you anything, his wife just needed some rest and he was giving that to her. And when those babies fell asleep, he got like overly confident and was like, you know what? I'm going to run some errands to the Home Depot. But him not having an appropriate stroller on hand was not going to stop him because he probably owns one, but I bet you anything it was left at home and he wasn't going to go back home and disturb his wife. No, instead, this man, he problem solved, he persisted, and he figured it out. Just like most men, when they approach a problem, they will try this, they will try that, but they will persist even when those first two things fall through. Because he is the only one that is going to figure it out.
Ugly man, you can move up to a level 10 attractiveness.
What Sarah is explaining here is that if you are not physically attractive, you can still become overall attractive by being manly and doing man stuff. I created a scale over here from Batman to Democrat, where Batman would be saving her, and then she would have to save you if you were too much of a Democrat. So the math is complicated, I'll go over it later, but basically you get your attractiveness score from her, and then you find that on the scale, here's the 6 here, and then you get your masculinity score, and if it's above 5, you're going up. If it's below 5, you're going down, and you divide the remainder of these meters by 5. So, for example, if you're physically a 4, but then she likes who you are to this degree, to an 8, then you end up being a 7.2 because that is 3/5 of the way from 4 to 10. And then if you are a 3 and your personality is a 9, which is very rare, then you end up being an 8.3, which is like barely attractive. So you can be like pretty ugly, but still come out like outside of the not people zone if you are super, super cool. And it works the other way too. This hypothetical guy is an 8 in physical, but 2 in manliness. So he's just a crying Kamala voting baby. And he comes out to be a 4. Absolutely unfuckable. Here's what this means for you. Most men are in this 4, 5, 6 area, right in the middle, which women see as about a 1.3 to a 3.8. But if you get really good at something that a particular girl cares about, like if you get an 8 or a 9 level good at something that impresses her, if you're a great person or you're very talented or skilled or famous or whatever, then you will move that percentage of the way from your score to, like, let's say that you're a 6 physically. She's going to see you as a 4. But then she sees, like, wow, that guy is 9 good at a thing I like. You're going to move, like, 4/5 of the way from 6 to 9. She's going to come out above 8. So it really is, it's a combination of factors that you don't get it because you don't judge women by these things. So I'm not saying it's fair. Like if you're a 9 physically and you're just an average kind of guy, then she will still see you as a 9. But if you're a 3 physically and you're a 9 or a 10 over here, then you can compete with a 9. But you have to being a 9 or 10 is like a rock star. You have to be super famous. So it's not fair, but she's right. You can change your overall score a lot by doing these things, which is what I've been telling you for years, but a lot of you still don't get it. Sarah's right.
It seems, at least I'll speak on my behalf, that the men in my life are either angry in the way they express their emotion or they're silent.
Yes.
Is that pretty typical?
Those are safe. You can't be weak. You can't be soft. You can't be a simp, as they say. If you're just angry, if you're silent, you look stoic now. Oh, he must be strong because nothing ever phases him. And so men, anger is a very safe emotion to express. When our feelings are hurt, we're angry. When we're sad, we're angry. When we lose, we're angry. When our wives express that they want to spend more time with us because they miss us, we're angry. It's a surface emotion. That's why I tell men to dig deep. What are you really feeling? And I can compare it to masculinity to the crayon analogy in this book. As men, we stay within the 8 box of crayons, okay?
Yeah.
And we may pull out 4, Women have 64.
That's why we confuse you so much, Jason.
This is interesting. We were created for all of those emotions. They're not exclusive to you. It's there, but we've been hoodwinked by allowing society to define what a man is. And so when women are communicating with us, they may pull out, I'll use an analogy of the color violet, and all we have is purple. We can't meet the moment. Or even more complex issues, they ask for lime, and we're trying to put green and yellow together. And because men, we're not used to expressing the gamut of emotions that we have as human beings, we can't meet the moment. And so I need to learn how to express more than my anger. If you don't trust me with the finances, it's not the anger I need to express, it's the hurt.
But once again, I think we're downplaying, yes, we should get better at expressing emotions, but I think we're downplaying what men have to go through. It's not necessarily sometimes about looking masculine or tough. It's about staying out of trouble. Hey man, my wife went off the deep end when I said this, this, and this. So I just stayed away. Some of these women are misusing those 64 crowns or whatever he said. They have available 64 colors, but they really know how to use crying, anger. They'll use anger. Manipulation is not really an emotion, but there are certain crayons and colors they continue to use. So really, if we're talking about what women use versus what men use, it's really almost the same. Men might use maybe one or two, anger and sadness. Women might use anger, sadness, maybe happiness. I think both might use happiness on occasion. But there's really only a few, like a handful of those colors that women use. I know we like to say, well, I expressed this and I expressed that and I did this and I did that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because once men start drilling down into what's being done, it's over with. It's over with. Oh, you weren't actually using this. You were actually doing this. Oh, you weren't actually saying this. You were actually saying that. Oh, you said that you wanted to act like this, but your actions telling me you actually want this and you're going to act like that. So it's not as clear cut as people continue to say. Now, should men move past anger and show other emotions? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no need to argue against that. I just think sometimes when we say that men are silent, they're silent because it keeps them out of trouble. They don't say anything. A lot of men, you know that number, men are checking out of society because I don't want to get in trouble. I want to stay out of trouble. I really don't want to go to jail. I don't want any drama, dude. I just don't. We can make all the jokes about don't drop the soap and stuff, but I don't want to. I don't want any drama in my life. I want to live a clean, drama-free life. And I think we continue in these discussions and conversations to overlook that. That's why men don't approach, because I want to live a clean, drama-free life. Period. I go to the club and I sit back. I don't say anything because I don't want any trouble. I don't want to be called a creep. I don't want to be said. I don't want to be told that I'm broke. Number one. Number two, let's go back to the anger really quickly. Once again, I understand we need to express it a little bit better, but how would you feel over and over again if people in society, specifically modern women, kept on telling you that you weren't enough? They keep on telling me that I'm trash. They keep on telling me that the food that I make, the money that I make, the job that I have, the house that I have, the car that I have, the clothes that I have, it's not enough. It's trash. And we're not talking about just being nice. We're talking about people calling, oh, you look like you just crawl onto the face of the earth, like the lowest of the low. You are the lowest of the low. You are the scum. You're not a human. What emotion do you expect men to display when people are continually telling them they're the lowest of the low? They're not even human. They're the lowest form of a human. All of you are murderers. You're You're people who take advantage of women. You're all of these things that are the worst parts of society. At what point in time does a man say, it's time for me to defend myself? It's time for me to stick up for myself? Do you think that maybe that's where some of that anger might be coming from? Not saying that men don't have a huge part to play in what emotions we show. I'm saying we continue to let women off the hook. We continue to say, oh, well, yeah, we need to work on that. And we need to do this, and this. But we don't continue to talk about the root cause. We leave the root cause in a lot of these situations. We just kick that right out the door. We just throw that right out the window.
Every marriage should come with a prenup. Why? Because if you don't write your own plan for what happens if it blows up, guess what? The state already wrote one for you, and it's called divorce court, and it's absolutely bonkers. Think about it. A stay-at-home wife married to a plumber gets half of a plumber's wage, half of whatever that man has earned. A stay-at-home wife married to a billionaire doing the exact same work, arguably easier, suddenly she's entitled to hundreds of millions of dollars because she said I do? Make that make sense. A marriage is the only contract on earth where one person can show up with nothing, no money, no accountability, no behavioral standards, and still walk away with half of everything. They can cheat, nag you, gaslight you, and still cash out like they sold their startup to Elon Musk. Meanwhile, fellas, 97% of all alimony paid is paid by men, and 70% of all divorces are filed by women. But yeah, bro, go ahead and get married without a prenup. I'm sure love will conquer the legal system. And here's a truth nobody wants to address. Staying home with kids isn't a punishment. It's a privilege. Surveys show 85% of all women want to stay home. If a man is busting his ass and making that possible, he's already paying for your privilege. He doesn't owe you half of everything he's worked his life off for after the fact. So listen, fellas, the only rational play in today's world is this. Get terms down while you still like each other. Because once the claws come out, it's too late. A prenup is not saying you plan to fail. It's saying you refuse to let the state, lawyers, and a broken system destroy you if you do.
Okay, I have to say this because it's really pissing me off. I'm tired of you bum ass. And when I say bum ass, I mean exactly what the f I say. Y'all bitches be having y'all head so far up your ass that you don't see it for what it is. I always want to talk about, oh, I can never live with no man who's not contributing to my household. But you are the same that be going to these houses, not contributing. You think you cooking and cleaning and giving them some here and there is contributing? These men be out all day, fighting the world, literally, to provide something stable and secure for you. But for me to watch a video about living with a man who don't contribute, oh, don't get with a man who ain't contributing, because next thing you know, you'll blink and it'll be 10 years and now you're stuck in it. How many men do you think deal with that on a daily basis? Y'all really get on my nerves. Like, women have this victim complex. It's annoying. I don't even believe in genders and a race. At this point, it's just a human race. I treat people like humans. And if you're not going to act like a respectable human being, then I'm not going to treat you like one. But y'all getting on my nerves with this rhetoric that, oh, a man can never move in my place. Well, I can't move in your place because you're already paying the bills there. And I can figure out if I want to contribute or not, if I even choose to. But if a man came to live with me, which would never happen, like, I don't put y'all logic. You are literally going on a road to being by yourself. These men are not looking for to take care of. They're not looking for another child. A lot of these men got kids that they already didn't want and got to take care of. Now they got to take care of your stupid ass because you don't want to contribute shit because you think your holds value. You think that because you're a woman, you're entitled to certain treatment or this princess lifestyle. Girl, you. And it be these type of relationships or situations where when the relationship ends, it's, oh, I never needed a nigga for shit. And then go live off the next. It's a repeating cycle and it don't make no sense to me how y'all decenter men and don't need it for nothing. And men are the worst thing on earth. And, oh, the world would be better if men didn't exist. But y'all run to them every chance you get. If you can't find a man of your liking, you go find a who presents as the same you hate. Get on my nerves. Y'all literally would sit there and use a man until he has nothing left and he's still supposed to be the same strong, secure man that he was before you came into his life and fit up. I'm pretty sure a lot of these men are in debt or not in places that they want to be because they're too busy not doing for themselves to do for the bitches that they're supposed to be with, and it's supposed to be helpmates. You are not helpmates, you are cellmates. Don't no man want no celly. I mean, some of them do, but we ain't talking about them. At the end of the day, the moral of the story is stop getting with people who don't got your best interest. Don't have the best intention for you. A motherfucker who literally is just trying to live off of you or control whatever you got going on by inserting themselves into your life. You get on my nerves and y'all need to get a grip because nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to be a willing participant in the demise of your life.
I'm so sick and fed up of men using the argument, it's not all men, so I'm going to draw this out for you.
Oh, good. A visual aid.
So at the bottom, we have the worst of the worst. We have rapists, pedophiles, murderers, you're in jail, you're a horrible person. We can all unanimously agree as a society these are very, 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 very bad people. Okay, that's bottom of the bottom. And then we have a little scale. And then at the top here, we have men who speak up for women, men who advocate for women, men who protect women, and men who confront all of the other men. That's where you're missing me.
So what they're saying, in order for a man to be considered in that top tier of men, they need to fall into all of those categories of speaking up for women, defending women, and condemning the actions of those bad men. But women have been telling men for years to leave them alone, to stay out of their business, not to speak for them, and that they don't need them. So what are men supposed to do, and who are they supposed to listen to?
I'm not saying it's a 50-50 scale of good and bad. I'm saying that this is a slow blended gradient between good and bad. And no matter where you fall on here, if you're not here, I don't like you.
Now they go on for another couple of minutes, explaining how, indeed, most men are considered to be bad unless they fall into that top category. So essentially, if you're not the best, then you're the worst. It's really unfortunate that at this point in time, there are individuals that still try to justify their despising an entire group of people based on the actions of some. It's almost like there's a word for that.
What's your age?
32.
How important is the amount of money a man makes?
A 0.
Why is that?
Money doesn't buy happiness. Money, honestly, is the root of all evil and makes a lot of people do shit they wouldn't normally, so.
Annually, where would you say you're at?
In 6 figures.
Would you feel comfortable dating a man who is making 50 or even 35K?
For sure, yes.
Even if he was an Uber driver?
Yeah, that's what made him happy.
So you're just looking for a man who has ambition?
I'm not looking for a man because I got one, but he knows who he is, he loves me, and he's a good person. I mean, that's pretty much it.
What 5 things do you have to offer a man?
My humor, my support, my love, an exciting life. I can cook, I can clean.
What is it that you expect a man to give you in return for that?
I don't need a man for anything.
If you don't need a man, why even be with one?
Because I wanted him.
Well, what do you get out of that then?
Love and mutual adoration and respect and yeah.
Once again, this is the second interview I've seen where these women are given the correct answers. All of them. Every single answer. They're given the correct one. 2 young ladies, dressed relatively modest, said everything correctly. Gotta be plans. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
If a man can actively have sex with a woman and not bind with her, that man has literally detached from his soul. That body is not attached to the soul anymore. And I'm telling you this because men that actively have sex with way too many women even go as far as to think that they're confused about the gender they're into now.
Bro, the pure delusion and mental gymnastics that some of you women have to go through in order to rationalize why dudes don't like you is diabolical. Just say dudes don't like you. That's it.
Men hate because it benefits you. Men love marriage because it doesn't benefit you.
First off, right? Anybody that takes your money via any occupation, via any means, is the one benefiting. You understand? It's not just only for... If I come to your shop and I buy something from you, I give you my money, you're the one benefiting. Even if you gave me service, you understand what I mean? But if you think prostitution is benefiting women the way you think it's benefiting women, no problem. Next time you climb bed, ask that man, is your sister doing this stuff? If he says no, because I know we'll say no. If he says no, I tell him, she should start, this thing will actually help her. It's like, it will empower her. Let's all, you understand what I mean? Let all of us empower women. Do you understand? It's not trying to empower women. I know, we're trying to know what benefits them. Do you get? Do you understand what I mean? Good. Now, for the part of saying marriage benefits male, in this 2025, at this point, marriage does not benefit anybody. Said, if you want to benefit you, it will benefit you. Do you understand? If you want to benefit you, it will benefit you. Some men say are crying, some women are crying. Everybody crying. Boom. Just tears everywhere. Bucket here, bucket here, bucket there, bucket there. Just packing tears everywhere. Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand, right? Good. Anyways, I'm a very peaceful person. I really don't find trouble and all that. And I'm sorry if you find this video triggering. Thank you.
That what men
really feel most of the time when it comes to divorce is resentment, not surprise, not loss, not grief, but resentment at losing their very own personal absorber of all their negative externalities, their personal patriarchal absorber of responsibilities, absorber of costs. One need look no further than how most men behave in custody battles, and that is this. Most men, we know statistically, they do not show up. They do not contest the mother's custody order. They actually do nothing. And then, subsequent to having no custody assigned to them, they either come around and look
You guys cannot be out here telling yourselves that men are so resentful because, they're giving up their unpaid labor. They're paying for it every single day when they go to work. They're paying for it every time you have a mental outburst about someone from 10 years ago. He's paying for it every single time he misses a birthday or a holiday, or he can't be at a sporting event because mom moved so far away. He is literally paying for the consequences of the woman's actions every single day, and y'all never want to take accountability for your part in it. He's paying for it every single time he has to come home to an empty house with toys all over the place. He's paying for it every single time that child support hits and he has to pay for 2 households. And if anything, if men are resentful, they have every single right to be, because there's no way that he has to live like this for the rest of his life because of the consequences of your actions to not making the relationship work. And before you come at me with any kind of, I'm not talking about situations. They're paying for it every single time you're bitter and have to take him to court or want to take him to court for custody. Y'all never ask yourselves why these men have to fight for custody in the first place. And let's be so for real. The only people in these kind of equations that are resentful are the mothers that become single mothers and now have to do it all by themselves, even though they get government assistance, they get help from child support, they get all of these government programs to help them while the dads suffer in silence. And y'all never want to talk about that. You're so self-centered that you only think about yourself in this equation, even though you created this entire situation by initiating divorce in the first place. But then you spew out this that men are resentful because they're basically losing their unpaid labor. No, what they're losing is a literal adult child, because it's been statistically proven that men put out 80% more income than women, which is why women fight so hard against 50-50 in the first place, because women can't even contribute 50% of the household income. And then guess what? That man will spend 20 years building up his retirement, and y'all will come in after 10 years and take whatever you can get because you're bitter. That's what they're upset about. I don't give a if you want to stay, if you want to go, but imagine building your entire empire for some bitter ass to come steal it all. All because she opened her legs and had children with him, essentially. I'm just so sick of this narrative where women will literally tell themselves anything to avoid accountability for situations that they create. How about going to therapy? How about not picking horrible partners in the first place? How about trying to make your relationship work other than trying to dissolve the marriage in the first place and then having to take him to court in the first place? Okay, bye.
I put on a ring, and the amount of men that try to talk to me has gone down by like 80%. My husband put on a ring, and the amount of women checking him out or trying to talk to him has probably doubled. So my question is, what the f- is wrong?
Right? And it just goes to show how respectful men are when they know you're in a relationship. For women, they subconsciously see a man wearing a ring. Oh, he's already been picked by another woman. He must be emotionally stable and capable of commitment. Women realize, oh, he passed her tests. He must be a really good man. I should pursue him. But yeah, that's mate copying for ya. Women instinctively see men who are already taken as more attractive. And then also, he's not trying to chase her, obviously, because he's in a relationship. So that makes her want to pursue him even more. And what I find funny is some of these ladies who do pursue married men, they're the same ones making videos or talking about how they can't find a good man. Leave the taken ones alone!
This is absolutely disgusting. And you don't just do it one time. You do the same video over and over again in that gym. You know, film stuff like this, people that have nothing interesting to say, no talent, and no taste. Speaking of taste, Today launches our Black Friday sale at Taste Flavor Co., our biggest sale of the year, and the launch of our newest flavor, the Creamy Southwest Ranch. At just 15 calories, I promise you, it's so good, even she wouldn't spit it out.
Women are the reason for 60% of divorces, and honestly, I believe it.
It's very true. Most divorces are, in fact, initiated by women.
Because men will ignore you for years and then act confused when you finally leave. Like, don't play dumb. She didn't wake up and decide she was done. She told you 1,000 times what was wrong, and you brush it off every single time.
Now, I understand that this post is supposed to be about how men are the problem in marriages, but a lot of individuals like to conveniently leave out the fact, and yes, it is a fact, that women married to women actually have the highest divorce rates of all. So is it really men that are the problem?
One thing about women, we'll stay until the very last straw. We'll explain it, we'll cry about it, we'll try to fix it, and you still sit there acting clueless.
Well, if that was actually true, then women married to women would actually have the longest lasting relationships, wouldn't they?
When she finally fast, suddenly, it's, where did it come from? It came from you not listening. That's why most women file for divorces.
Okay, sure. But in my opinion, a lot of women, not all, file for divorce because they simply aren't happy. And there's a lot of women that would rather just get divorced than work on the problem.
My wife asked me 2 weeks ago, "She seemed like you're always pushing us along, rushing us. And then we rush and jump in the truck. And then we get where we're going. And it appears we probably had 15 more minutes. Never mind, I told somebody we'd be there at 9 and it's 9:37.
In the driveway.
In the drive. But
not saying that happens. Case study could happen.
At my house. It happens at my house. But for you to express that concern to me, it's a quality of life thing. Should I stand on, hey, we need to be on time every time for everything? I would love for that to be the case. But at what cost? At what cost? If I have to be late a time or two here and there for my family to feel like they weren't thrown in the back of a vehicle and flown
accosted. Yeah.
If being late somewhere allows my family to be of sound mind when they show up where we are and their energy is not frazzled, because that's bad energy.
Yeah.
Now I got you walking into your school or class or scenario and you on pins and needles. You're not receptive of information now. I need to work on that. Do I possess it today? I do not.
I do not.
I do not.
I don't.
I gotta relax and kick back a little bit and let her be late here and there.
Oh man. It's such a bad hill to die on.
Way we in a good mood.
It's such a bad hill to die on, and I'm so willing to die on that hill. That's the conflict. Because
why?
Because I don't know. Because in my mind, it's all disrespect. You don't respect my time.
I really love this podcast, man. It's called the Dear Son Podcast. These are issues that men go through. These are things that men think about. And men, y'all will never hear these issues. Y'all will never understand that these issues actually even exist. Because men just do it. They just do it. No ifs, ands, or buts. No, well, I didn't get this, and this wasn't taken care of, and I ain't going to do this if this. No ifs, ands, or buts. It got taken care of. Am I fuming inside that we got there late? Yeah, absolutely. But you'll never know about it because I never say anything about it. These are the things that men do not get credit for. And women are actually causing these problems.
I just had 5 grown-ass men walk by, grown-ass, able-bodied men, walk by as I struggle to carry all of my and help this poor mother with 3 children carry her stroller down the stairs.
Well, contrary to what was written across that screen, I don't believe that there's anything at all wrong with most men. In fact, especially if a person pays attention to what some women post on social media, those gentlemen were doing exactly what a lot of those women have been asking men to do. Leave them alone. Don't approach them, and certainly don't talk to them. So why exactly would they be inclined to help some woman that they don't know, not knowing how exactly she's going to react to having those men approach her?
They just looked and kept walking. I'm literally dropping my umbrella and everything. They just keep on walking.
And I cannot blame them for that, because they had no way of knowing how a strange woman would react to being approached by a strange man. Honestly, it's best that they just played it safe and kept their distance. But a lot of women really want to be treated as equals until they're treated the same way that a lot of men are.
So my daughter's father tells me today that for spring break, he's taking our daughter, we have one daughter together, to Disneyland for 5 days. And I guess it was going to be a surprise, or it's going to be a surprise, or was, whatever. So I'm like, awesome, you know, I'm going to go shopping, get her a couple outfits, you know, I'll get her a new bathing suit, da-da-da. I'm thinking about all these things, and then I'm thinking, wait, just her? Because she has 5 other siblings. So I had to ask him, you know, everybody else is invited too, right? And he looked at me like I was crazy and said, no, those aren't my kids. We were together for years. You were their stepfather. You're gonna take your daughter to Disneyland and not take her siblings? Do you know how upset that would make them? Not doing it. She's not going unless her siblings can go. Period.
This is a prime example of a mom that wants to control the dynamics of a situation that she created. Because when you have children from different men, different fathers, they don't have an obligation to the children that are not theirs. You do. And I understand the situation where some kids get to do some things that the other kids aren't going to do. Well, you're the mom, you're the link. So you could make the decision to even it out if you needed to. But honestly, I think that kids are smart and they can understand the dynamic that this one child's real father is going to go do this one thing with them. But that's something that the mom has to work through with her kids and with the actual father of those kids. And do you know how expensive Disney World is? I cannot imagine paying for 5 kids. It is not appropriate to demand this, and definitely not appropriate to say that your daughter can't go with her father to Disney World just because your other kids can't go. That is not fair, and that is not your call to make.
It's so crazy that as a society, men have been gaslit into believing that they are the problem so much that women literally get away with everything. You mean to tell me that as a whole, collectively, women have come up with the same old story that he's like beating her up all of the time, and she just sat there innocently and silently and just, you know, spoke to him calmly with no reaction. Oh, but wait. We're going to gaslight him further because when she reacts, it's reactive. But when he reacts, and it's not really reactive. That makes so much sense. I love how we get to cherry pick when we want to use psychology terms and it's always directed negatively towards the men. You mean to tell me that she can put glitter all over his car, she can break his car windows, she can steal his money, that women can lie, manipulate, cheat, steal, and do all of these crazy things, and then she gets to turn around and be the victim in the situation? This is all while women simultaneously preach, don't feel bad for sticking up for yourself. But what they really mean is don't feel bad sticking up for yourself as a woman. They don't mean that towards the men. She can stalk his social media, make fake accounts, make up stories about him, false accusations. But then when he speaks up, he's the problem. And the first question is, what did you do wrong? Like, I shouldn't laugh, but do y'all understand how delusional that sounds? And as of recently, they've been gaslit even further when the whole saying that I'm just a girl came out. So you mean to tell me that she bashed in your freaking windshield and slashed your tires, but, oh, she's just a girl. You gotta be freaking kidding me. It's absolutely mental illness on display, and the craziness, yes, all women are crazy. Stop pretending like you're not, and stop blaming men for all your problems. Okay, bye.
This year, I decided I'm going to go the full year without using any dating apps. However, I still want to meet people. So tonight, it's Friday. I'm going to go out by myself. Okay. This is what I'm going to wear. Just passing a beer garden that was full of people with their friends. It's okay. This will be fun. Okay, that did not go well and was a little embarrassing. I'm gonna see if I can find another place to go though. I don't know what I thought. Like, I genuinely thought that I was gonna meet people. It was just that, like, the jazz bar was too crowded. There wasn't even anywhere to sit. I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna keep trying.
All right, y'all. Here's a question. Why men don't approach women anymore? Glad you asked. Let's get into it, family. Happy Saturday, everybody. Number one, the fear of rejection. Women today, as we know, have some unrealistic standards. Some women. Unless he has a six-pack, six-figure, and is 6 feet, you can't talk to him. Number two, it's not just about the fear of rejection. For some men, it's the fear of being labeled a creep or a predator because the man that's approaching you isn't your type. So because he's interested in you, he a creep? Come on now. Number three, online dating, which has made it so men don't have to get rejected in person. Number four, social media. Now you can just run up in somebody's DM. You don't have to have communication skills. I think all this technology and everything has made our communication skills terrible, y'all. Terrible. And last, we've seen how women will reject men in unnecessarily rude ways. It's okay to not be interested, to try to embarrass them. Y'all, we gotta stop.
Married for 10 years. I got married young. I was 21, barely, like 3 days, 21. Already had a baby. He was 8 weeks old at our wedding. And I remember feeling like my marriage was temporary from the beginning. Like that I wasn't gonna make it. And I didn't know what that feeling was. I just thought it was.
So let me get this straight. She was married for 10 years, strung this man along for 10 years, had children with this man, and knew from the beginning that she didn't want to marry him. Marriage is forever, and it's not temporary, and age is not an excuse in my opinion. But there's more to the story, so continue.
Fighting for me, I was pushing him away. But I never truly accepted happiness. I left the good guy. He looks at and is like, that's a dad. That's a husband. That's how it's supposed to be. He did the dishes. He cleaned the house. He took the kids to school. He worked all day. He made good money. He supported us. I mean, yeah, we had our problems, but he was the good guy. So I'm here to tell you, it's okay to leave the good guy.
And she says something about finding happiness and not being happy, but she doesn't realize is that a man isn't the one that's going to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. So she should have done a lot of self-work within the relationship, because you can be in a relationship while simultaneously working on yourself. And because she got married at 21, I'm sure she missed out on her hoe phase, and now she's going to be...
First, to a man, a woman's past matters. No self-respecting man is going to want to marry a woman that went through a hoe phase. That's actually the exact opposite of what he's looking for in a wife. Because no man wants to make a woman his wife that's been ran through. That's why women that go through that phase usually end up stuck in it, because guys can tell, and no one's trying to wipe them up.
31 as a single mom out having fun because she missed out on it, as if that's going to be acceptable going into her 40s. And basically she goes on to say how a guy can be a good guy but not the right guy. But here's my thought process. Okay, first of all, you knew that from the beginning and you're not upfront, or did you communicate that? You wasted 10 years of this man's life where he could have gone out and found someone who appreciated him. But additionally, now it's 10 years later. If she was 21, she's 31 now. So now she's a single mom at 31. And she's about to go on the dating scene, and she thinks that's going to be better and that there's good guys still left out there. But this is also what I talk about on this page about these women. They ruin the good guys because now this man is going to go get his heart broken and never be the same ever again, all because she knew from the beginning and couldn't be upfront about it. Like, how sick and twisted do you have to be to make a man a placeholder and have children with him. And so many women in the comments right now are like, oh, this is exactly my situation. I've been married for 11 years and he's such a good guy. And, but he's not for me. Y'all need to stop listening to advice on the internet like that and go into therapy and fight for your marriages and fight for the good men that are out there, because I can promise you that the dating scene is not any better. But not only that, this man is about to get all his wrecked when she already knew from the beginning that he wasn't the one. In divorce, he's about to lose half, and who knows his visitation. You know how a lot of women can be with the visitation of their children, and as soon as they're pissed, they give the silent treatment. There's so many things that could happen in divorce that, she didn't consider in the first place? Just despicable.
You can't just pick women based on looks. You have to understand a woman's mindset. And if her mindset is modern, you gotta go. Doesn't matter what comes. And you only judge women based upon their actions. Give women in general the benefit of the doubt. And see, a lot of ladies aren't gonna like what I'm about to say, but I say this: look at a woman that even if you're dealing with, assume that she means the best. Assume her heart's in the right place. It doesn't matter. It comes down to your actions.
It depends on what stage of life you're in. If you're looking for something casual, you really don't need to worry about the woman's mindset. But if you're looking for a woman to build a life with, pay real close attention to what he's saying. Because the woman you choose to be your wife will reflect you and have a huge impact on your life, which could be positive or negative. It depends on the woman you choose, which is why you want to make for sure that you do not overlook any red flags and that this woman is properly vetted before taking any big steps. Let's see what they had to say in the comments. Too bad it doesn't matter, though it's a nice idea. I'm not giving women the benefit of a doubt. I put my faith in my understanding female nature, tag teamed with their actions.
That makes sense.